Hey everyone, it's Peek. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video. So, today I'm going to be discussing my recommended moves for all 21 Pokemon that are currently in the game. Hopefully this guide kind of helps you just know which moves you should play on a Pokemon you haven't played before, because I'm guessing if you're kind of watching this, you're kind of just looking for new Pokemon to play. I think generally most people know probably the best moves for the Pokemon they play the most. However, if you don't know, I will kind of talk about each move and why it's probably the better option for each Pokemon, and we're going to try and be super fast here. So I'm just going to switch over again, like... This comes from a place of experience. I am in the top 100 currently of the Master Players, so I want to just emphasize that I have seen a lot of the game, played quite a number of matches, and have seen pretty much all these Pokemon played as best as they can be played. So I think that these are probably going to be the best moves in most cases. Again, just want to preface by saying that if you like another move more, then that doesn't necessarily mean you need to switch off that move just because I said I like this one more. I personally just think these are probably the strongest options for each Pokemon. So let's start off again in alphabetical order. If you just want to skip to a certain Pokemon, I'm going to have timestamps in the description below or in the little scrub thing if you're on YouTube mobile. So skip to whatever Pokemon you want. We're going to start off with Absol though. So for Absol, I recommend Pursuit over Night Slash. I think Pursuit just really, like, the fact that it can be on such a low cooldown and you're just able to dash around the map, dash over barriers and stuff like that. It really allows you to go deep and still kind of get out safely a lot of the times. Night Slash doesn't provide that level of almost instant cooldown when you hit this move from behind. It's just, Pursuit is so good. Cycle Cut is also the other move I'd recommend. I think just the extra damage after you use it on your auto attacks is basically gonna knock out any Pokemon. The extra little range from Cycle Cut helps as well, because it is not exactly in melee range. It does have a bit of a range to it. I think Sucker Punch just falls flat because there's like a wind-up animation to it where you can, still be damaged and you kind of slow down, and it feels a little bit clunky for a Pokemon like Absol that needs to get in and get out quickly. So boom, that's Absol. For Charizard, this is going to be a little bit of a controversial one. I couldn't really decide which one for the first move. I personally really like Fire Punch. Both of these moves burn, which is really important to do as Charizard. But yeah, I just really like Fire Punch because it just gives you extra sticking power. It does shove enemies a little bit, so it's a little bit of a micro crowd control or hindrance. So just keep that in mind. It will push them a little bit away, but of course you will dash to them. So you can actually kind of Fire Punch people into your team just a little bit. It's just like a little shove. It's not like a knockback, it's just like a little shove. And Flare Blitz is going to be the move I'd probably recommend again, because Charizard really just thrives off of sticking to opponents, being able to get off those auto attacks that it can use while moving, and Flare Blitz just helps you do that a lot better than Fire Blast. I actually really do like Fire Blast. Side note, I personally play Fire Blast with it. But if I'm playing Charizard and trying to go the best move, I'm probably going to be going Flare Blitz. I just think it provides a lot better utility with the knockup. So for Cinderace, it's super straightforward. I think Blaze Kick is by far the best skill for it. I think Pyro Ball just kind of falls flat. You can get, you are able to get multiple targets with your burn stacks with Pyro Ball, but the attack speed you get from Blaze Kick, not sure why I can't say that, is just so much better. And this move is also like a guaranteed crit, so if you're really wanting to like take opponents out if they're low HP, you just need to make sure you do that big damage. Blaze Kick is always going to crit, so huge move to take. And Feint is just probably the best ability in the game. You can literally go invincible for like 1.5 seconds, and once it's upgraded, your basic attacks will restore HP. So really good ability. Cinderace, that's just like a no-brainer. You definitely want to go those moves. For Cramorant, this is gonna kind of depend on how you want to play Cramorant. You can go like Air Slash Dive if you want to play it like a melee assassin, but I think Cramorant does best playing for its team. Using Hurricane and Surf. These moves are just a lot of damage as well as very big crowd control for your team to make plays off of. I think that just makes the most sense for Cramorant. So for Crustle, I think Shell Smash is just so broken. Like, it's really, really good. And of course, the lower HP you are, the more of these like stats are going to convert into attack, special attack. So you can really just pop off as Cramorant. It's kind of insane. And yeah, so X Scissor is my other recommended move for it. The fact that if you hit enemies up against an object or a wall or just anything on the map, like for example, I guess if you went Rock Tomb, you know, that works for this too. X Scissor stuns enemies and just like it does so much damage. It's actually crazy. If you hit all 3 hits with X Scissor, I mean, you're doing a lot. Quite a lot. So yeah, definitely the recommended build for that. For Eldegoss, it's kind of down to personal preference for this first move. Pollen Puff or Leaf Tornado, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you really want to engage hard, then go Leaf Tornado, but if you want to play more of a support character, go Pollen Puff for the heals, as well as the little bit of chip damage onto enemies. And Cotton Guard is just really good. Its upgraded version gives movement speed, so that's just really nice for Eldegoss to be able to, you know, maneuver around the map and just get out of like dangerous situations in a team fight. I think Con Guard is just really good. I mean, I guess you could try Consporn sometimes, but I just really think Con Guard is the best move. Gonna move on. Garchomp. I like Dragon Rush more than Dig in terms of its like dashes. I like how you can shove enemies with Dragon Rush. You can actually line it up so you shove them into your team. So you can really do a good job at getting a pick as Garchomp with Dragon Rush. Dig just doesn't provide you with that same utility. And Earthquake I think is really good. You drop it on the ground and it's not in this movement tooltip, but every pulse of Earthquake, it has 3 pulses, it gives you a stack for your passive. So you're ramping up your attack speed even faster if you drop Earthquake in an area. So it's gonna be way better than Dragon Claw, which I personally really like Dragon Claw. I just think Earthquake makes more sense for ramping up Garchomp's attack speed very quickly, which is obviously what you need to do as Garchomp to do the most damage. So, Gardevoir, this is going to be a bit of a controversial one. I am just going to put Psyshock. I personally, whenever you see me playing Gardevoir, I will pretty much probably always be playing Future Sight. But Psyshock is just a little bit more consistent. Well, probably a lot more consistent, actually. And the fact that every single hit reduces the cooldown, whereas, like, you have to hit with Future Sight, and of course it has to be the upgraded version for you to reset the cooldown on Future Sight. It's probably just a little more consistent, which in a game like this, where consistency matters, consistent damage and support and sustain and control matter in a game like this, it's probably the better pick in most cases, unless you just are very confident in your aim with Future Sight. So keep that in mind. And I think Moonblast is just the better ability. Psychic does this weird thing where it moves like a portal of like decreased movement speed slowly towards enemies or whatever it hits first. But I think Moonblast, being able to have a stun on a 6-second cooldown is just really, really good. And this also pushes you back a little bit. So as Gardevoir, it lets you kind of get a little bit of extra distance from the enemies who are trying to attack you. For example, like, I mean, I don't know, a Garchomp, for example, it'll give you just a little bit extra distance to hopefully get away and get to a safer spot. Okay, Gengar, I really don't think we need to talk about this one. Sludge Bomb Hex is absolutely broken. If you haven't played against it, I think you're probably not playing the same game, so you might be in the wrong video. Yeah, Sludge Bomb Hex. Do we even need to look at the other ones? Shadow Ball? No. Dream Eater? No. Really fun moves, but Sludge Bomb Hex is just by far the best moveset. Greninja. Smoke Screen, Water Shuriken is what I would recommend. A lot of people like Surf. I think that's just because Water Shurikens are very difficult to hit. I really just don't like the 9-second cooldown on Surf. If you don't execute an enemy with it, you're not getting that instant cooldown reset, which is a pretty high risk. 9 seconds is a decent cooldown time. Whereas with Water Shuriken, it's a 7-second cooldown, and every ranged auto attack as Greninja is going to lower that cooldown by like 0.8 seconds. So just spam a few auto attacks and you'll be able to just keep using Water Shuriken over and over. And I think Smoke Screen is just better than Double Team. Smoke Screen has a bit of a unstoppable frame where you can't get crowd controlled. So if you time it correctly and you're about to get crowd controlled and you use Smoke Screen, you can actually dodge it, but you'll have to like play a lot of Greninja to get used to the timing on that, but it can be done. I really just like Smokescreen. It gives a lot of really good stuff. It makes your next basic attack a boosted attack. It stealths you. You get increased movement speed, and you get increased attack once you come out of stealth. So it's really just, I really just like it better than Double Team. There's really not much use to this other than the shorter cooldown once it's upgraded, but Smokescreen is just far and away the better skill. Power Up Punch, best move in the game. This move is able to last hit any objective. Dreadnought, Rotom, Zapdos, even like, you know, little camps, and you get at level 5. Like, Lucario is literally the best Pokemon in the game, and Power Up Punch is one of the best moves by far in the game. The damage is insane. You really want to be able to have a Pokemon that can last hit wild Pokemon in this game. That's what matters. It doesn't matter who did 99% of the damage to a wild Pokemon. It matters who gets that last hit, right? And there's no better Pokemon to do that than Lucario, and there's no better move than that than Power Up Punch. So definitely take Power Up Punch. And Bone Rush, it's so good. It's way better than Close Combat. Close Combat is just so inconsistent, and Bone Rush is so powerful. You can push enemies, you can reset your Power Up Punch, so you can get a very quick combo of 2 Power Up Punches very quickly in a row, and it's just by far the better skill. So definitely try it out if you have not already. Machamp, Submission is just insanely good. I really don't recommend going Dynamic Punch. It's like a targeted leap. But the movement speed you get from Submission, the ability to traverse the map using that movement speed, as well as the increased critical hit rate and basic attack speed with its buffed version at level 11. This move is so good. It's probably top 10 moves. It's definitely top 10 moves in the game. And yeah, the ability to just run up to a lane and suplex a Pokemon in it so your teammates can blow it up is, I mean, it's just the best. And Cross Chop, I really like Cross Chop over Close Combat. Again, it suffers from the same Close Combat issue as Lucario's. It's just inconsistent. It does a lot of damage, but Cross Chop is a dash, which can really help you disengage or engage as Machamp, which is something you're probably going to have to do quite often because you really just want to get in, do your damage, and get out as soon as you can, so you're not taking more damage than you have to. Mr. Mime. I recommend Confusion Barrier. Like, the damage that you get if you hit a Confusion up against a barrier or just an enemy that is against a wall is just so crazy. Wow, the damage is actually insane, and that's kind of why I recommend Wise Glasses for Mr. Mime. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen my items video, go check it out for the recommended held items and my explanation for and basically the reasoning behind all that for all these Pokemon. So yeah, go check that out. And yeah, so this I mean, it's kind of troll, but Mr. Mime is really funny, and this does a lot of damage. So if you're gonna run Mr. Mime, I recommend trying this out. I think it's really strong. Ninetales. So Dazzling Gleam is just way better. Like, a stun on a 7.5 second cooldown, and it's an area of effect stun as well. Unlike Gardevoir's, that's like just one enemy, whatever it hits first is what's stunned. Dazzling Gleam hits in a cone in front of you and stuns whatever enemies are in that cone. So really strong. I think it's just way better than Avalanche. Avalanche, again, can be kind of troll, setting up a wall to block off enemies, but it just doesn't bring enough utility. And Aurora Veil, in my opinion, is just way better than Blizzard. You're getting every auto attack while you're sitting in Aurora Veil is a boosted auto attack, which means every auto attack is applying AoE freeze stacks to the enemy team. I mean, it's just way better than one ability that applies one freeze stack and pushes enemies away, right? That's my opinion on the Aurora Veil versus Blizzard debate. Okay, Pikachu. Electro Ball is so good. It has increased damage the lower HP the target is, and this is just great for securing last hits on like a Dreadnought or a Rotom, even a Zapdos. Or just enemy Pokemon, right, who are low HP and almost got away. Pikachu has very long range on its abilities, and Electro Ball is no different, and it's just really good. It also slows them, as you can see. It leaves the Pokemon paralyzed, and the big thing about Electro Ball is not only is it targeted, so it never misses, but it's gonna hit all the Pokemon in an area. So like, if the enemy team is clumped up and they're all low health, one Electro Ball is gonna do like so much damage to them. And for the move 2, it's either Volt Tackle or Thunderbolt. I think it's just personal preference for this one, honestly. I like Thunderbolt just because it's longer range. I prefer playing more at a range just because I think, like, positioning in terms of like the characters I usually play in games like this is more in my style, playing back, playing safe, that kind of thing. And just being aware of like where I am. But Volt Tackle is very aggressive for sure, and the fact that it can just like throw opponents up, it's just a group throw, which really can lock down opponents for a brief period of time, so your team can do a lot of damage to them. So kind of personal preference for this, but I personally think Thunderbolt is the better choice. Slowbro. Surf is incredibly good. Top 3 moves in the game, I think. It's such a good move. The knockback, the damage, the heal onto Slowbro. This all just synergizes so well with Slowbro's passive and what Slowbro is as a defender. This is such a good Pokemon, and Scald just doesn't bring as much benefit as Surf. And Amnesia, of course, this is just gonna accentuate the power of your Surf. And it's way better than Telekinesis. Telekinesis is really inconsistent, and you know the thing about this is you're out of the fight as Slowbro. You're not really doing damage if you're just holding someone in the air, and of course like it'll have its uses. So again, this one's kind of personal preference, but I think Amnesia Surf just does so much crazy damage, and you guys will really find that it's really good. So that's my personal opinion for that one. A lot of people will probably disagree, but hopefully people won't disagree with my Snorlax recommendations, because Snorlax, the clear choice is Heavy Slam Block. This is the amount of playmaking potential. No Pokemon has this much playmaking potential as Snorlax. Heavy Slam Block is such a good ability. I highly recommend you check out Dunmuir on Twitch. It's Dunmuir on Twitch. He plays a lot of Snorlax, and the things you can do with Heavy Slam and Block, like, it's just crazy. The other option is Flail, which the lower HP you are, the more damage you do. And Snorlax can actually do quite a lot of damage when it's using Flail. I just really don't think it's worth trading off Heavy Slam, which is just such a good engage move. It's just, in a game that doesn't have many engage moves like this, you really want to take Heavy Slam as a Snorlax. And then, you know, there's Yawn. It's a 12-second cooldown versus the 11-second. I guess that doesn't really matter. I really just think Block is so much better. You're able to shove enemies into your team. You're able to split a team in half with Block as Snorlax. It's just way better than Yawn. I mean, the sleep that Yawn provides is crazy long and gives your team time to just completely delete the enemy Pokemon off the map, but Block just has way better playmaking potential, which, like I said, is Snorlax's whole gig. So that's Snorlax. So for Talonflame, a bit of a tough one here. It's kind of personal preference. Personally, I think Flame Charge Brave Bird is the way to go. Flame Charge, you know, it's going to basically pierce the enemy's defense. It's one of the few moves in the game that is able to just like pierce through enemy's defense. So big tanks like that, you know, you're going to be able to actually damage them as you would a normal Pokemon, and kind of hit through enemy Pokemon's defense like that. So Talonflame is just able to do a lot of damage to any type of Pokemon, even if they're a defender class. And then, you know, there's Brave Bird. It's a targeted location, kind of, you fly to it. And I like it better. It allows you to reset the cooldown of Flame Charge, which, you know, really just basically allows you to Flame Charge, Brave Bird, Flame Charge, and just do a lot of damage very quickly. Whereas the other option here is Fly, right? And Fly is a bit of an interesting skill. It's really unique. It allows you to just fly up into the air, literally, and, you know, disappear. Like, you can get over giant obstacles that are in the middle of the battle arena. And, you know, there's something to be said for it. If you've tried Talonflame before, you know what Fly does. It is a really fun skill to do, and it can be very useful for the playstyle of just like, I'm going to go score goals sneakily in the back while the opponents aren't here, and then just fly out, right? But I think in terms of like what Talonflame's role needs to be in the team, Brave Bird lets it accomplish that better just by doing damage, you know, with this reset on the Flame Charge or Aerial Ace, depending on which one you take. I really just think that's the better combo. Okay, last three. Hopefully, yeah, we're making good time. So Sludge Bomb Petal Dance is what I'd recommend, but you can probably go like either of these. I think Giga Drain's kind of troll, to be honest. Although if you hit multiple enemies with it, Giga Drain heals a lot. I just really think the poison condition is just insanely good. Sludge Bomb lowers their movement speed, lowers their defense, leaves them poisoned, which means they're unable to score for like 5 or 6 seconds. It's a super, super duper long time. Like if you've ever been poisoned by Venusaur, you know like how annoying it is to like wait out that poison tick to be able to score. And then Petal Dance would be the move I'd recommend. It just gives you increased movement speed, allows you to reposition or engage very hard on the enemy team with like a Sludge Bomb combo. I just think it synergizes more with the way you need to play Venusaur. Solar Beam does a lot of damage, and it can, you know, last hit objectives, last hit a Zapdos, stuff like that. I just don't think it provides as much for Venusaur as Petal Dance does, so that's why I'd recommend it. Okay, Wigglytuff is pretty straightforward. Sing is just going to be the better ability. Rollout is kind of troll. Like, you can do a lot with Rollout. It's just really inconsistent, and Sing is so much more consistent that you just probably want to take that most of the time, unless you're really confident with your rollouts, in which case, you know, you're probably a Wigglytuff one trick, and I hope you're in one of my games, because I feel like rollout is actually really strong if used correctly. But Sing is way more consistent, and Dazzling Gleam just does more damage than Double Slap. I think it's pretty much either one you want to take here. Neither of them provide much use for Wigglytuff, which is kind of why Wigglytuff is just not a great Pokemon, is because this second move is just like kind of useless, unfortunately. Sorry, this first move, I guess, is its move 1. Yeah, so that's Wigglytuff. Last but not least, everyone's favorite nuke machine, Zeraora. So the first skill, it's kind of up to personal preference again. Like Spark, I really like Spark personally. It allows you to just weave in a bunch of auto attacks while having some invulnerability frames, which I think is super important on a squishy Pokemon like Zeraora. But Volt Swish can be good too. I really like that Volt Swish increases your damage and basic attack speed buff. Like you see here, once you've upgraded it, that buff that you're getting is increased even more. The attack speed that you get normally from Volt Switch, once you level it up at level 6, you're getting some attack speed, but once you hit level 12, that attack speed is like ramped up to almost like crazy amounts. You should definitely try it if you haven't already. It's crazy fast how fast, crazy fast. It's crazy how fast Zeraora can attack with the upgraded Volt Switch. I just personally like Spark more. Allows you to get those invulnerability frames, like I said. I think it just provides way more utility. And of course, Discharge. Wow. Crazy good skill. So much damage. The ability that Zeraora has to just walk up to a group of enemies and just get rid of their health bars with Discharge is crazy. And like, you don't even have to aim it. You just walk up and hit Discharge and they're gone. It's ridiculous. Of course, there's some also neat tricks you can pull off if opponents are paralyzed. Like, you can pull them back to you and stuff, which can kind of synergize well with like a Volt Switch and stuff if you want to pull enemies back to your team to a degree. I don't like, obviously the radius is not that big, but it will pull them near to you. So I don't actually think you could do that combo unless you were Volt switching like just a little bit away. So anyway, I think Wild Charge, you know, it's good, but it's no Discharge. I think honestly Discharge is just gonna be the better combo here for Zeraora. It's just the damage right now is insane. Maybe they'll nerf it later down the line, but I think Discharge always makes sense for a Zeraora player. So that is my recommendations for all of the moves for Pokemon in Pokemon Unite, all 21 that are out currently. If you guys enjoyed that, hopefully it was quick enough. All right, 23 minutes. We did a pretty good job there. Yeah, that's what I recommend in terms of moves for all these Pokemon. I think they're typically going to be the best for, you know, Pokemon if you're just hopping on them for the first time and you're like, yo, what do I need to play? I got you covered with this video. Just go check out the timestamps if you want to play a specific Pokemon. I think you will find that those skills allow you to do the most as that Pokemon as you're playing them. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, if you watched the whole thing, shout outs to you. Holy cow, that's crazy. The support on the videos has been truly insane. You guys are really awesome. And yeah, join the Discord. We have a community of very lovely people there. And it's an inclusive community as well. So if you're just, looking for people to play with and looking for a nice place to chill and hang out and chat with people on the internet, I think you will enjoy the Discord for sure. Also follow me on Twitter for all sorts of updates for Pokemon Unite. Anything that regards to my channel, as well as going live on Twitch. Follow the Twitch, by the way. I will be going live on there from time to time as well, with just ranked games. And yeah, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Pretty sure if you've made it this far, you probably already have. But if you haven't, go ahead and hit that sub button. Check out my other videos in the Pokemon Unite playlist, which is linked down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great one. Peace out.